Beneath the blistering Judean sun, the Crusader vanguard halts before ancient limestone ramparts that have defied empires for centuries. Godfrey stands firm, his crimson standard planted in the dry earth, as thousands hold their collective breath before history fractures. The opening wave surges forward under a heavy canopy of arrows, absorbing the kinetic shock of the first clash. Godfrey remains rigid on a rocky outcrop, tracking the northern curtain wall where defenders prepare their countermeasures against the advancing ranks. A sudden deluge of boiling oil fractures the advance, sending the formation into disciplined retreat. Godfrey absorbs the recoil of the failed push, his gaze shifting toward dried riverbeds where the army's precious ancient water reserves have completely vanished. The silent enemy proves more relentless than steel as cisterns run dry and exhaustion settles over the ranks. Beside a cracked stone trough, Godfrey's weary posture remains unbroken, his eyes fixed on the distant Judean foothills where timber awaits him. Deep within the olive groves, foragers secure the timber needed to construct the great siege towers. Godfrey walks the narrow ridge, his steady anchor amidst the logistical surge, as the quiet rhythm of preparation replaces the chaos of battle. The first wooden leviathan climbs toward the sky, its massive frame silhouetted against the clear midday air. Godfrey stands at the base, tracking the rising platforms as carpenters secure the joinery, calculating the structural integrity of impending violence. Near the eastern approach, the second tower takes shape, its lower decks reinforced with iron plates and wet hides. Godfrey observes the steady assembly, his measured breathing a quiet counterpoint to the rhythmic thud of mallets echoing across the grounds. The army compresses into a dense, disciplined formation beneath the golden hour light, heavy with anticipation. Godfrey stands at the center of the assembly, radiating quiet authority, as the silence stretches, a suspended breath before the storm finally breaks. The great battering ram surges forward, its iron-shod head swinging in a slow, devastating arc against the stone foundation. Godfrey watches from the rear, observing the structural stress and tactical timing as the wooden fist tests the city's ancient bones. Massive siege engines roll forward, grinding over the uneven terrain as drivers guide the beasts with steady reins. Godfrey shifts his weight on the command ridge, his calm breathing anchoring the logistical surge as the wooden fortresses approach the walls. The stone foundation cracks under relentless assault, creating a jagged gap in the ancient defenses. Godfrey stands at the edge of the breach, a steady presence amid the sudden shift in momentum as the first wave secures the inner courtyard. Wooden assault ladders press against the stone, their rungs disappearing into the upper battlements under the rising sun. Godfrey tracks the climbing scouts, calculating the vertical momentum as each rung becomes a silent test of endurance against defensive pressure. The vanguard pushes through the narrow corridor, their formation compressed, but disciplined beneath stark, chiaroscuro shadows. Godfrey stands at the threshold, his steady rhythm channeling momentum into the heart of the city as defenders retreat into the inner square. Through the narrow alleys of the lower city, the ranks move with controlled urgency across stone-paved thoroughfares. Godfrey walks the labyrinthine paths, his grounded posture anchoring the advance as golden hour light filters through the dense urban architecture. Before the monumental stone terraces, the vanguard halts, compressing into a disciplined line beneath clear atmospheric light. Godfrey observes the scale of the fortress within a fortress, his unreadable expression tracking the massive defenders on the upper platforms above. Engineers position their siege mechanisms against the thick stone walls of the Antonia citadel. Godfrey stands on the raised earthen ramp, his calm presence anchoring the infantry advance as the imposing fortress gates prepare for their final, desperate stand. The main threshold cracks under the final assault, shattering timber and rough stone in a cloud of dust. Godfrey watches the widening gap, his grounded posture marking the physical invitation to claim the citadel as the vanguard pours through. Within the central plaza, the ranks settle into disciplined formation as dust slowly settles over the stone pavement. Godfrey stands at the center, his quiet reflection on the cost of victory mirrored by the motionless crimson standard in the calm air. Beneath the darkening sky, the camp settles into a quiet rhythm as fires cast long, flickering shadows. Godfrey turns toward the distant hills, his measured breathing a counterpoint to the stillness of the captured city as cool night air descends. At first light, the ranks gather once more, their formation crisp against the pale morning sky. Godfrey stands at the forefront, radiating quiet authority as the dawn breaks over a transformed landscape where conquest yields to an enduring legacy.